Yeah, what's good, Gooners? What's going on, people? Let's catch up with some transfer news. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, and welcome back to all you new subscribers as well. Guys, really today I want to focus on the fact that there are so much players out there. Zaha's on the market. Remember when it was 80 million last season and they said, yeah, we know the market is volatile. We're probably going to go and sell him for around 30, 40 million. Well, today, Palace just said he's available for 70 million. Yeah? Nobody got 70 million to spend in the market right now. And N'Golo Kante, Chelsea's just put him up for sale, 60 million. Guys, these numbers that we're working with are unworkable. The teams know it's unworkable. The players know it's unworkable. And that's the reason why, look, we can't even get rid of Guendouzi. Guendouzi was up there for 40 million. Teams went, nah. Yeah? 3 teams just looked at him and was like, nah. 30 million. Villarreal was like, maybe, but let's pay you that after the season ends. It's just not working, guys. There's very real issues out there as far as money goes. And I hope that the fans are starting to realise that. Because I'm still hearing fans going crazy about, let's buy this player, let's buy that player, let's spend 100 million. Guys, have you seen the state of the economy in the world right now? Yeah? Have you seen the state of the economy in the world? Big kudos to Brighton, because Brighton have allowed 2,500 of their fans back into the stadium later this year. And Brighton have done that because they've worked out on their books that if they have no fans in the stadium, even with all the money and cash flow and all these issues with player wages, etc., that if they don't do that, they're going to go bankrupt. So they have no choice. Yeah, they don't have a choice. They have to get some kind of fan revenue in there. Arsenal are not at that point yet. I doubt many clubs are, because obviously the surplus cash that they have, cash reserves in the bank, which helps them in a time of need. And plus, again, we're going back on Stan Kroenke taking out the 2 sets of bonds. Maybe we'll find out where that money's gone and if it has gone to help some of the losses with Arsenal. And we'll know by the beginning of October, because if Arsenal would have spent some money in the transfer market from their kitty, then we'd have known that that money wouldn't be used to kind of dampen the effect of the losses that we'll have for the team as a whole. So let's get on to the news here. Most important thing I want to focus on now is Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta, as you know, my manager, yeah, he's laid down the law, and he's basically said he's told his players that they'll start the season with a clean slate. He's also said, in regards to fans coming back into the stadium and the coronavirus, he's basically said, just when you think that a player is clear, bang, there goes another 2 players who've contracted coronavirus. So he said that he thinks that there's going to be many more cases in the future, unfortunately. And he goes, we just have to get used to getting around it and playing around it as a sport and as a country as well, with what the government's guidelines are. We're just going to have to get used to it. And guys, look, when October comes, furlough's over and there's no government help anymore, and everybody will be back to work, and the market everywhere will literally be flooded with people who are trying to get back to some normality. And that's where, including schools and colleges, and that's where things are going to be most dangerous. That's where the cases are going up. However, there is a word out that there's a second strain out now, which actually is not as volatile. That, in other words, more people are catching it, but less people are dying. That's what scientists are talking about now. So I hope that that kind of floods over, and that we kind of get something that doesn't look as volatile as it did before. And that will really help the football fans and stadiums and all sports alike get back to some normality. And look, we're talking about Guendouzi, who didn't play in the final 11 games of the previous season's campaign. And we're talking about Ozil, who obviously came back from lockdown, talked about he weren't going to be a part of the pay cut. And for that reason, and that reason only, guys, yeah, he was left out of the team. Now, I'm kind of on Ozil's side for this. Where was that money going that we saved? It hasn't gone anywhere, because you actually saved all that money, giving the players a pay cut, and then you went and released 55 players. So that's really contradictory. The fact that, remember, you've saved 5% on your salary, because it was supposed to be a 12.5% cut, but they qualified for the Europa, so it was only a 7.5% cut. So they saved 5%. And you're still going to release 55 members of staff. So if that pay cut was supposedly to help the team save money on wages and able to incorporate keeping players. Why have you let go all the members of staff, and why have you let go all them scouts? So it's contradictory. So Ozil actually has a point. You know, he's not stupid. He's thought about this and he's challenged them, and they don't like being challenged. So what they've essentially done is they've hung him out to dry, which I don't think is right, because he's training, he's fit, he's doing everything that he's supposed to, and he's still created the most chances on the team. There is a poll on the YouTube channel, so you can let me know what your thoughts is, whether you would take back Guendouzi, whether you would take back Ozil, or whether you just don't care about the both of them. So hit that poll button and let me know what you guys think. And also, guys, seriously, for me, I want to talk about Guendouzi now. Guendouzi is the focus because he is such a raw talent. And talents like Guendouzi are very hard to find in world football at the moment. And I think for Guendouzi, given a chance to rebuild his reputation at Arsenal, is a key as a key figure in developing him. That would look good on us as well. When Arteta was at Man City and him and Pep were talking about who were they most impressed with from Arsenal, it was Guendouzi. So it appears now that the door isn't completely shut. And of course, all of that can change because his agent is still out there talking to other teams. And I think that it's important that we look at that. And if there's an avenue to get back into getting him to play for the team, then it's something that I think that we should pursue. It really does say a lot about where the team is right now. You know, I mean, Guendouzi's only real weaknesses is he holds onto the ball too long. He doesn't make those late runs into the box as a box-to-box midfielder that you'd like to get into the box and get on the end of crosses and score goals. He doesn't really do that, but he's a pace setter, and his ball control and ball skills, he's so comfortable on the ball. He has a lot of poise. Also, his aerial game's a little bit weak, so, you know, he doesn't win many aerial duels. But little things like that you can coach him on. Got no problems with that. So listen, Guendouzi, if you're listening, make it happen, bro. Arteta, do your thing. And guys, last thing I want to really talk about is Bellerin. Now, there's some talk about Bellerin going to PSG, and as I said before to you guys, I've heard that Cedric Soares is the preferred player on the right side this season. It's probably why we're looking at offloading Maitland-Niles or offloading Bellerin if the right offers come in. Let's remember that. We're not openly out there selling our best players, and Arteta alluded to that. But if the right offer comes in, then we'll look at that, because that will help to gain the cash flow to buy players in that we want to have that will make a real difference on the team. With Bellerin, you know, because of his injuries, he's regressed a lot, but I would be happy if he managed to find that form back. And the reality is, guys, that the team needs him to be above the level he is right now. And I'm hoping that he can get back to that. But his episode 6 podcast was called More Than a Footballer with Alex Scott, and it was presented by him. And I love the way Alex Scott and Hector Bellerin just bantered with each other, and Hector calling Alex an Arsenal legend and not just a Arsenal women's legend. And it really goes towards how we feel about how our women at the club right now. Alex Scott, she's a great pundit with Sky. She's got an amazing personality, and she was a great player at the club. And they both talk about their experiences growing up with people and their interests outside football, and it's really informative, it's quite chatty, and it's something that the fans don't get enough of, to be honest. When people say footballers shouldn't express their own opinions, it's just refreshing to see players take charge, because it's important to have your own format to talk about your opinions like us YouTubers do, yeah? And maybe he needs to get Kieran Tierney in there. Wouldn't that be nice? I'd love to have him get some players in there from Arsenal and then talk about their experiences. I did in 101 Forums release an interview that Joe Willock did, and to hear Joe Willock talking about him growing up and him living near the stadium and how it felt to him to be a part of that, and Arteta as a manager as well, talking about how amazing he is and what Wenger did for him as a player. Those are the things that we need to know more about, because it helps us unearth all of the foundation of what goes on behind the scenes. We don't get enough of that, if I'm honest. And, you know, you see them Amazon Prime programs on Man City, and they've done one on Tottenham as well. I'd love for them to do an Arsenal one, because I really, really would like to see those behind the scenes of what happens in Arsenal Football Club, you know, in terms of Vinay, Edu, Arteta, Josh Grunke. You know, we need more of that. We need more transparency at the club. So, you know, here's sort of to that being more open to us. and also Arsenal Supporters Trust as well. You know, they used to record some of the AST meetings, but it's been a while since they've done that now. So, and that's very important for the financial state of the club and where we are as far as a business. I think that's really important. Always been a big passion of mine to sort of learn that part of the business as well. So, guys, listen, that's it from me. Let me know where your thoughts are on all of this news coming through at the moment, guys. And listen, I'll catch up with you soon, man. Peace out.